A couple weeks back, I got this question from D. Gradle at gmx.ch. Hi Doug, I'm from Switzerland, watching some of your videos concerning amp modelers and especially the Fender Tone Master Pro. Now, usually when I'm playing, it's the acoustic guitar or the bass. What do you think? And even more, what about putting something on YouTube for bassists and for acoustic guitar? I would appreciate it. Thanks and have a good day. Danny. Excellent suggestion. And we have 3 amp heads left to go over, so the timing is perfect for this one. And remember, this is in addition to the Tone Master Pro's combo amps and half stacks being available as amplifier heads only versions. Like it says right here, all Tone Master Pro combo amplifiers and half stacks are available as amplifier head only versions. So we're talking about the studio preamp, which is often used for vocals, the tube preamp, which is excellent for bass guitar, and the Fender Acoustasonic, which is for acoustic guitars. Let's go over them briefly. The studio preamp boasts of direct-to-mixing desk studio purity with clean, uncolored tonal response. Controls are gain, adjust signal level into preamp stage, treble, adjust high frequencies, middle, adjust mid-range frequencies, and bass, adjust low frequencies. Now let me show you the vocal chain that I put together for this demo. We're starting off with the studio compressor, and I'm just using the default settings for it. Next we have the studio preamp, and again, I'm just using the default settings. It sounds excellent. After the studio preamp, we have the studio delay. Now, I dropped the time down a little bit, I think, but I definitely dropped the mix down and I dropped the feedback down. Let's see, maybe not time. Time is at 500. So no, I think I left that alone. Feedback is at, yes, feedback is at 30%. It was at 40. And mix is at 4%. And then the last block is the large plate reverb. And again, I'm just using default settings at it, and I think it sounds fantastic. Now here's what it sounds like all on its own. Now you're hearing delay, you're hearing reverb, but pretty much I can guarantee when it gets in the mix, it just blends smooth. But it sounds like this. It's snowing in New England tonight, and I'm thinking of you. The weatherman calls for a blizzard. I hope you're getting through. Sometimes when that old wind hits, I get that feeling too. But it's snowing in New England tonight, and I'm thinking of you. The tube preamp is described as having direct-to-mixing desk studio purity with increased tube console-like harmonic coloration. Controls are gain, treble, middle, mid-frequency, selects frequency affected by middle control knob, and bass. Okay guys, here's my bass preset. It's very simple, starting off with the simple compressor, and I'm using default settings. Then we have the tube preamp, and I'm using the default settings there too because I think it sounds just excellent. Now the thing you have to remember about me is I am not a bass player. So when I play bass, I use a pick because I don't know how to use my fingers correctly. That's just the way that it is. So you'll have to bear with me on this. And lastly, we have the Fender Acoustic-Sonic, which is for use with piezo-equipped electric and acoustic guitars. Based on the preamp of Fender's award-winning modern Acoustic-Sonic amps, featuring flexible dynamic controls for tailoring rich, warm, and full tone to exacting personal preference in any room. Controls, gain, treble, middle, bass, and then we have string dynamics. Dynamic tone shaping filter that tames harsh treble frequencies sometimes caused by piezoacoustic bridge pickups. Turn clockwise to reduce harshness. And then we have dynamics frequency. Adjust frequency affected by the string dynamics control knob. Okay guys, now for my acoustic guitar, I'm using a Paul Reed Smith, what is this, an Angelus? Is that how that's pronounced? A50E? I think that's what it says. Sorry, guys. And I'm just using the Acoustic-Sonic amp all by itself. The only setting I've changed is that I've upped the gain up to 9. And here's what this guy sounds like. I'm going to be doing a rough cover of California from JC Flyer's Moving On album. Now, I may have said this in the past, I'm not sure, but I had the honor of recording keyboards on that album and touring Northern California with JC Flyer and the rest of the band. So, when I get a chance to cover one of those songs off that album, I look forward to it. But like I said, I played keyboards on that album, and I definitely did not do lead vocals. So, when I say this is rough, this is rough. I haven't sang any lead vocals in quite a while, and I only sang backup with JC. So it might get a little tough on your ears. Feel free to skip forward past that part. It won't hurt my feelings.
When I found that you had left me, I went to take a drive. My engine just kept running and this country came alive. I woke up in the desert under a Joshua tree, and all I ever wanted suddenly came through to me. I spent some time in Shasta, and you know there's power there. So I charged up all my batteries and nurtured on clean air. 1,000 times I was reminded on just why I'm living here. A man's a man, you see, and there's no place I'd rather be than California. You can talk about the Berkshires and the Adirondacks too. You can tell me about the Rockies and the Smoky Mountains as well. I've been up in the Tetons and I know that country well, but they're just not the same, and my heart will always remain in California. Sunsets on the Pacific just take the breath out of me. And driving down that coast highway, there is no place I'd rather be. But when you say that it's not happening here, you know I don't agree. I know you you had your reasons, but they made no sense to me. The valley in Yosemite was made with God's own hands. After all the time we spent up there, I still don't understand. Perhaps I may not ever know the reason or the plan, but it doesn't matter much to me, because I'm living naturally in California. California's got the energy, you can feel it in the air. We've got the mighty earthquakes, so we live here if we dare. We've got the high Sierras and our redwoods can't compare. We're living wild and free, it's the only way to be in California. So when I found that you had left me, I went to take a drive. My engine just kept running and this country came alive. I woke up in the desert under a Joshua tree, and all I ever wanted suddenly appeared to me. You can talk about the Berkshires and the Adirondacks too. You can tell me about the Rockies and the Smoky Mountains as well. I've been up in the Tetons and I know that country well, but they're just not the same, and my heart will always remain in California. They're just not the same, and my home will always remain in California.
Well, we have now gone over all the amps in the current Tone Master Pro lineup. I'm glad that I made these videos because there are some amps I would not have tried had it not been for making these videos. Now, in case you didn't know, I used to do videos on fractal gear. Now, the current fractal lineup has over 300 amp channels in it, and for my stuff, I used maybe 4, unless I was doing a video on something particular. And I know that some Tone Master Pro owners would love to have a big stash of amps. Now, admittedly, I don't play any current genres, so I don't know what's missing from the list, but I have very few amp items on my wish list. And while I have no doubt that Fender will add more new modeled gear to the Tone Master Pro, right now I want to focus on the gear that it does have and get the most out of that. And then if you find some missing items, put them up on the wish list on the Discord server. Fender does listen. So give that a try, let me know how it works for you. And let me know if there's any of the amps that you hadn't tried before that you decided, hey, I think I'll give this a shot. And if you're still here, thank you so much for stopping by and sticking around. I really, really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, suggestions, or other ideas, drop them by. I'll get to them as soon as I possibly can. Now, I'll have all new content this Friday. You don't want to miss that. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. All right, guys, have a great week, and I'll be talking with you again on Friday.